air raid. And he wanted to see what air raid is. He opened the window facing the airport, and the planes was flying so low, it started machine gunning down the aeroplanes. And I said to him to move away because you're going to get hurt. At the beginning, he kicked me to get out of it. The second time I moved, he didn't move. And all of a sudden, I noticed he's bleeding, coming down on his legs, a lot of blood. So I moved him, I touched him. When I moved him, he fell back on his back. He was dead. In the meantime, before it happened, I wished it on him. God help me to wish it would be strike him. I wished him on him that death. The Almighty, He must have listened to me. And this happened. And when it happened, I felt bad, but I felt happy too. That one way, it was a mixed feeling. Anyway, they put us from there a day later. No, we worked in the Wald. The Wald is the woods, forest. We was digging the roots out of from the earth.
What time of the year was this?
That was already early spring, because where the sun was shining already, and we had there was air raid. We had to stop, and we was laying on the sun, nice and warm. Oh, it was such a good feeling. Stayed on the sun, but wasn't that too long, because well, as soon as the air raid was over, we had to go. It was heavy work, very heavy work.
How did you feel about the air raid?
Oh, we was happy. We was wishing. I wish we would get a bomb on top of us. We would be finished, and we wouldn't feel any misery. Put us out of our misery.
But you felt it was your friends up there?
I didn't have no more friends. Most of they died on the road.
I meant the Allies.
The Allies, yeah. I knew must to be. I wasn't sure what kind of planes were there. Was it Americans or was it British? Anyway, there was machine gunning the airport. And when we finished the bombing, the machine gunning, we marched back to the camp, and we stayed there, I think, for a week or so. Then they put us back in the railroad cars, and we went to Landsberg 1, Landsberg 2 in the camp, and Landsberg 3. That was the next camp, Landsberg 3. That was Kaufering. Landsberg 3 was Kaufering. That was the worst kind of camp. As soon as we marched in, I know I will never get out of there. People was all laying on the streets all over. Nobody moved. We got into the hall. I asked right away, where is the washroom? I went in there. I brushed off. I was so rich with lice. I brushed off, and I took cold showers. As I took the cold showers, then outside, and I see one prisoner eating each other. There was Russian prisoners, I think, this part over here. And he says to me, eat, because tomorrow morning you would know the difference. You would eat. S. And I run back to the washroom, again taking cold showers, and keep taking the cold showers. I was frightened. This is it. I start to pray and pray and pray and pray until came at was it afternoon? I don't know exactly. They told us, get ready. We're going into the railroad cars. So we went into the railroad cars. It was between two forests, was a railroad track, and we stayed there. Oh, must to be late in the afternoon, maybe at night. We stayed in the cars. We didn't know the difference at that time. In the railroad cars, and they locked us up. Early in the morning, 4 planes arrived, jets was to me. And they knocked out the locomotive. They couldn't move us either way. And the guards run into the forest. They left us there.
Locked up in the car?
Locked up. One managed to open that up. As they opened one, then they helped open the rest of them.
So everybody got out?
We get out. We run each one in a different direction. How much could we run? We were big like kittens. As we marched, I went in opposite in the forest, about maybe 500 yards, or maybe less, I don't know, or more. I find the tree, but somehow I managed to climb up, and I find the comfortable branch. Was pulling up, but I found it, and I was holding. Oh, I forgot this again. When a bombardment next to the locomotive was a supply car or tray, where they kept the SS supplies, and I stole a can. Looked like to me a 16-ounce can. Today I would say 16-ounce can, and I hold on to it, and one guy coming towards me, and this guy get a hold of me like this, and pushing me against the railroad car and pressing my neck. I should drop it.
Was it a prisoner?
Prisoner, also striped uniform, and it's pressing. I felt this is the less. I can't catch him anymore. Can't get my breath. Somehow God gave me strength or something. I put my 2 hands like this, and he let me go. And we struggled. We turned around a couple times around the railroad car, back and forth, and somehow I give him a push, and he fall his head between the 2 railroad cars on the track. He had his head on the track, and for a second his 2 eyes came out like it would be came out from inside. I stared at him for a couple of seconds, shaking, scared. What shall I do? I'm scared. I start walking and running as much as I could up into the forest. That's how I find myself on the tree where the tree.
Was the struggle over that can of food?
Over a can of food. I feel strongly he would kill me. He would choke me to death until I drop it.
So did you still have that can?
I did. I don't tell you what happened. But that can maybe save my life or what. But anyway, that man haunts me ever since. I went in that tree where I was sitting all night long. Didn't take too long until I heard start heavy cannon. You could hear the boom, 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 boom all night long. All night long until slow I felt it died down, like it was quite like a cemetery. But meantime on my head, every direction on my head, the machine guns. But
what about other prisoners? What about all the other prisoners?
Yeah, that's what I want to tell you. I looked down and I see some of them, they circled around the whole forest. with German Shepherd dogs, and they got them together, and the one who couldn't walk or quick, they shot him. The rest of them, whatever they could. I didn't know what happened to them. They put back in the railroad cars. I took it for granted that they was killed all, because what happened there was a lot of shooting going on, and I stayed there and just listening, not making a move. I was know that I would be shot too. I stayed there in the woods until everything died down.
And then the shooting began between...
With a heavy cannon bombing over my head, same time was also, you could hear around my ears, my nose, all up, under my leg, and the branches was breaking down. You could hear the bullets, just visible, just like what happened now. And then, when it quieted down, somehow the day started to break, you know, like, I don't know, I was weak. Did I slide down or I walked down? I don't know how, but I got down to ground, crawling out opposite direction, going into the woods. I looked around, I didn't see anybody. I see a pasture. That pasture I walked through. Then I saw almost to the end, I saw one or two civilians. Even if I'm sure, maybe a soldier I saw to throw away a gun. But I'm not, that's how, if it's something like in a fog, it comes to me. I went through that pasture. I got into, I find another forest, and that forest was a big farmhouse. I went around the farmhouse. I went to the entrance. I saw Bay of Hayes. I didn't touch, I didn't go. But I went around the barn. I found the doghouse. And that doghouse somehow, like God says to me, get into that doghouse. Was it by luck, or was I guided? I don't know. It's mystery to me.
Was it hard to fit into that
No,
doghouse?
I went in there so easy. I was skin and bone. I got in my two legs first. I pulled myself in, and I was sitting like this exactly, and keep praying and praying and praying. And start drizzling a little bit, raining. I heard a noise. Somebody was coming again, and past me, and the next that I heard is like straw. That straw breaking. So that means he must have go into that barn, and that barn, and he must have stayed there hiding. But it didn't take too long. I heard another walking. That was different kind of walking. You could hear, it was like a boots. You could tell already. And boots making noise, and a dog. That dog comes right and smelling.
A German Shepherd dog?
German Shepherd dog. Into the doghouse, and he pushes his head into the doghouse and facing me, not more than a feet, the most maybe a feet and a half, looking at each other's eye like this. He had brown, greenish eye, that dog. And looking and staring, I looked on the dog looked on me. I don't know, if they say in Hebrew, At Hayom Hazeh, I don't know how come that dog didn't bite, didn't make a move, just smelled like this. And then the German, he had the leash on, he says to him, "Come to Schweinhut." He pulled him away, went around to the door, where the door opens, As he opened that dog smelled something, and he started barking. And then the German says to him, SS, come down, if you don't, I'm going to come up and shoot you, kill you. And he started crying and begging, please don't kill me. Please, I come down, but don't kill me, please, don't kill me. He must have come down because I heard two shots and quiet down. Not a word, I didn't hear anymore. So I took it for granted that he must have been killed, or I don't know.
Did you hear the German
I hope
soldier?
he's still alive. No.
Did you hear him go away?
No.
His footsteps?
No, he didn't come that way. He went opposite direction. Now, this went by. I stayed there yet for a while. Exact time I cannot pinpoint exact time, but I did get up. I did get up from there, get out, put my two legs out, pulled out, but everything quiet down. And I see went out into the forest. I see another pasture, but this pasture had a brook. Water was going, and I drink from that water with my hand. It was a little bit of relief. But I didn't lose that can. I hold on to it, and I keep going until I went to a nearest farm again. This was up on a hill, in a hillside, with a forest too. I get up there. I find the barn, and I find the door was full of, it was bale of hails in there. As I went in there, I laid down on a couple of bales. I stretched out like a frog. I went out like a lightning, and I fall asleep. I was like, I didn't have I couldn't make another step. I fall asleep immediately. When I came to myself, must be close to noontime. I don't know exactly, 10, 11, who knows. And I took liberty first. I looked out, I didn't see nobody first. Then I looked around where I am. I couldn't believe it. I saw more bale hails. I look again. I didn't see any guards, no SS. And I see a rusty nail is sticking out from the barn, you know, where the hinges are. Just like God gave me brains, go and try to open it up. So I was punching that can like a half a circle next to each other, punching it. And somewhere I was able to open up a little bit. And I was able to put my little pinky in it, and I took a little bit. It tasted like, I would say today, the corned beef hash, but was already give me a little feeling. I went back, I lay down because I was tired, sleepy, weak.
Did you eat it all?
I ate a couple, but from whatever I could take out with my finger. I even cut myself. I wasn't so exactly. And a little bit while later, again, I took a chance to liberty and look out. I looked down near the brooks. I saw two. We called us Frohlinger prisoners with a striped uniform, going backward, not towards me, backward. So I took a liberty and I walked. And I tried to walk, whatever, run. I don't know what I did. All I know, finally I started screaming, yelling. They didn't hear me. And comrades, finally they heard me. They stopped, they turned around, they saw me. They waited for me, and they asked me where I'm from. I said, I got lost from my commando. So then I asked them who they are and where they're from. And they told me, one told me he's from name of, they was in the Carpathian Mountains in part of Russia right now, Hust. It was a famous Jewish town. And the other one was from Vienna, Austria. So we teamed up. You want to come with me? I said, yes, let's go. We went together. As we went together, they're coming to the nearest town, and we find out it was Schwabhausen, a village. In that village, we find the closest farmhouse, ask him for help to give us something to eat. We are weak. We can't walk. We are sleepy, tired. He picked up his gun. He says, get out of here. The SS goes from door to door, and I'm not going to be shot because of you. Get out of here. And they chased us out. But this one of the boys was so smart. I don't know which ideas was it, the Vienna boy or the Huster boy. One spoke a little bit English, very little, but understand a couple words. He said, let's go around the farm. We spoke German. Let's go around the farm, and where the cows are, we're going to sleep there. Sure enough, that's what exactly happened. We went around the farm and we lay down where the cows was eating. And we slept, we stayed there. Next morning was a lot of commotion, screaming, yelling. We didn't know what's happening. We took out a pig towards the main road far away. And we saw girls, women waving handkerchiefs and blankets and towels, white, was waving. It was Americans, 5-star.
And those were Germans waving to them?
Germans. And they told us this and this. I sure the hedge opened up, it stopped, and it walked towards us. It looked towards us and holding on to his revolver. And just like if I would hear him, no, I didn't understand what he said, but he was saying, God damn it, God damn it, and God damn it. That's what he was saying. He was angry. As he was walking towards closer, his face got redder and more red. It was like a fire, but a very handsome, tall man. And he looked on us a couple times, and he started talking to us. And then one of us who spoke English said we were prisoners, Jewish prisoners. And he asked a couple questions. I don't know what was the answers because I didn't understand. And then he started screaming on the German women to change their clothes.
To change your clothes? To get you new clothes?
Give us clothing and give us to wash us off because we were full of loaves. Oh, thousands of them, millions, loaves full of it.
Was that possible just to wash them off? Could you just take a shower?
Yes, you could brush it off. But not all of them. It was always some stick to your breast. I don't know how they accumulated so fast. Anyway,
so what was your impression?
The meantime was coming more American soldiers.
What was your impression of this American soldier saying, God damn it? What was he mad at?
On the Germans.
Mad at your condition?
No, mad at the Germans because the way we looked.
That's it.
We looked like skeletons, like Muslims, you know, skinny, nothing, the clothes was shaking on us. But you wouldn't believe it how we looked. And they didn't take too long. The 10-wheeler trucks was coming up to truck on the road and throwing us chocolate bars, candies, and all kind of goodies, but we didn't pay attention. We were so weak and just want to be left alone. We wasn't, and we just wanted to have something to drink and to be alone and to. It was a terrible feeling. We wasn't human beings. We was animals. Especially when I saw that eating there. I was a wild animal myself. And ever since I even came to America, I wasn't a human being. I couldn't, for a couple of years, you couldn't talk right to me. I was like a mixed up kid. I look at myself now. How did I survive this? How did I just couldn't believe it that I went through this, and I wasn't, as I said, I look back, I was an animal. Somehow I must have put on this earth for some reason. But I have more to say about it, what happened. We marched in, the three of us, we marched into Landsberg.
August 3rd, 1995, interviewing Alexander Frohlinger, survivor of the Shoah, tape number 5.
As when we were liberated by the Third Army, 3 of us comrades, one from Vienna, one from Hust, that's in the Carpathian Mountains that belong to Ukraine right now. We marched together on the main road. Somehow we got already chocolate, crackers, and what have you, the American soldiers gave us. We marched into the nearest city, Landsberg. Landsberg, the famous Landsberg where Hitler was in a prison beginning. He started his paratroopers, 10 or 11 paratroopers, he started his party. He was jailed in that city. And anyway, I'm not talking about Hitler now. I'm just telling that we went to that city, and finally we asked where we could stay. Here and there we saw a person. They told us to go up on a hill. There is a kasarnya. Kasarnya is barracks, SS barracks, tall buildings, and was bunk beds in there. We went in there. We lay down. We fall asleep. We stay there. Meantime, I find two landsmen of mine. One passed away, a young fellow with, his name was Weinstock, Yuri Weinstock. He was with 3-4 years younger. He already passed away with a heart attack. And the other one is still alive. His name is Herschel Friedman.
And you found them there in those barracks?
Right. I found them there, and we stayed in that barracks